And here we go, guys. Oh. Here we are, good evening. I can already see some people in chat. Mountain River Guitars and Dennis, welcome. How are you guys doing? Oh. Oh, come on. Adjust the volume a bit, I think. Oh. Live chat. So, yeah, I'm fine. Busy, but I'm fine, thank you. Been busy making straps today for the video for coming Monday. So let me know, I think I might need to adjust the gain on my mic a bit. I keep struggling with audio. I don't know why, but when recording and yeah, it's from stitching. It's from pulling the thread tight and grabbing the needle. So there were blisters on my fingers from yesterday's live stream, and when I recorded the video today I did even more stitching and those blisters popped. So I had to put on some plasters or some bandages. So hopefully we can finish this strap this evening. Yeah, formerly known as Keener Guitars, but you know what, Mountain Rivers? There's a reason why people use their last name for their guitar brands. Taylor, Martin, Gibson, Fender, Jackson, you name it, with the exception of most Eastern brands. And that's because it's what people are used to, and it creates a familiarity and a connection with a brand by using a real name. And that's maybe a mistake I made, because I thought my last name wasn't very suitable to be a brand name. But now that I'm studying marketing, I start to understand some choices other brands have made. Oh, I have to hold on, guys. There's a package being delivered. Hold on. Whoa, my apologies, guys. I had to run. I've been waiting for the Amazon delivery guy the entire day, because there are parts in this package I need to finish these straps. So I really wanted to make sure the driver didn't leave without delivering the packages if I wasn't on time at the front door. So luckily all the parts are in now to finish these straps for Monday's video. Yeah, I think he was waiting for the live stream to start. And I was so worried that he would show up as soon as I had start. But yeah, you're right again. And again, I need to make it a habit to flip the image. And that's because right here there's my secondary monitor with the feed from the camera and chat. And I'm so used to looking at the mirror image from when I'm recording my videos that I don't notice it being backwards for you guys. Where was I? Uh-oh. Right, here I am. And let's see. Maybe the same, Danish. You can recognize a good woodworker by the amount of fingers he still has. And yeah, I think a leatherworker by the amount of plasters or bandages he has on his fingers because of the stitching. Let's see, let's focus again. You might... Oh, I really have to get used to your new, how do you call it? Picture, profile picture, and your name, Owen. I'm sorry. Good evening. I'm not good with names, and usually I recognize people by the little picture they use for their profile. But as soon as people go about changing it, I have to get used to it again. Oh, let me know when you've started, Owen. I will keep an eye out. So guys, let's go. So guys, are you guys ready for the weekend? Have weekend plans? You're all spending time in your workshop tomorrow, I presume? Come on. Oh, nice. So busy weekend, Owen. Oh, come on. Cool. Yeah. There's not much better to do on a Saturday than spending time on your hobbies. Oh, come on. Oh, maybe this is a good idea. So unfortunately, I have some video shooting and editing to do tomorrow. And then hopefully I can have the Sunday off. And spend a day with my niece, hopefully. Oh, nice, Nick. What are you building? If you bought a template, let me guess. A telly or a strut? And how are you going to cut it? Using a bandsaw, jigsaw, or by hand? Tin line telly, nice. I think it's a nice guitar to start your building journey. So good luck. Yeah, Owen just finished his first one. Let's see. Jigsaw, okay. And are you planning to use a router to clean up the edges? I think so, if you bought a template. All right, yeah. Then if I can give you a piece of advice when using a jigsaw, make sure you have a very good quality blade and take it slow and try not to cut too close to your line. Because especially on thicker stock, thicker timber or wood, when making turns with a jigsaw, when you have a cheap blade, it tends to flex a lot. So try to prevent any sideways pressure on your jigsaw. Let the saw find its way and try not to bend the blade too much. That's the downside of jigsaws. they tend to wander a bit. And trust your router to clean up the edges. You're welcome, Mountain Rivers. Oh, I misread it. You are making YouTube videos. Oh, I have to check it out. Is your channel also Mountain Rivers? I'm going to do this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do this for a... Yeah, this is a bit too much. Bit too much. Yep. Oh, chat. Yeah, there's a real nice community indeed, Owen, at the moment. On most channels, of course, a lot of us usually are the same people, but everyone's supportive. Or at least for the most part. Yeah, you get the hang of it. I recently stumbled across one of my earlier videos and they are nothing like what they are today, and even now I think I should improve a lot still. I can still improve a lot. Man. And my videos are not near to what I want them to be one day. First, you have to get comfortable being on camera and talking to yourself in an empty room. Then you have to learn how to edit, set the pacing, find your own style. And then eventually learn how to pace the videos, script your videos. Something I have to work on because I don't script anything. I just hit record and I start. And that's holding my videos back a bit. So yeah, and don't compare yourself with the major channels, because usually they all have editors, some even producers or an entire team to help them, or they have been doing it for years and have a lot more experience, but you get there. Oh yeah. Nick, I can't tell. It can be a very good quality scroll blade, and usually they are used for tighter corners and have a finer cut. But if they are good quality, they might cut better and easier than the hardwood blades if they're an inferior quality, and the other way around. Just make sure they're long enough. If you're cutting, I think 40-45 millimeters thick material, make sure they make it all the way through in the entire stroke. Because some blades are short and you think they can make it on the furthest downstroke, but on the upstroke they're inside the wood entirely, and then on the downstroke they have trouble removing the sawdust, and you might get how do you call it, that your jigsaw starts bumping. Sawdust removal is one of the most important things when sawing. Is it a correct word? When cutting something with a saw blade. Whether it's a bandsaw, a circular saw, a jigsaw or a handsaw. The ease of cut and what you can cut and the rate, the speed of which you cut, all has to do with the ability of the blade to remove the sawdust in between the teeth. And that's why, for example, a resaw blade has a wider spacing in between the individual teeth than, for example, a crosscut saw. Because when resawing you need to remove much more sawdust and much more material, and coarser material usually. I recommend doing a few test cuts before cutting the actual outline. Yeah, if you like to have a very good free editor, DaVinci Resolve is said to be very good for a free software, but it has a steep learning curve. But it's a almost professional grade editing tool that's totally free. Anybody experienced in changing the color of the fretboard? No. Of course, if you have a maple fretboard, you can use stains. Stains, dyes, something like that. Me personally, I'm always a bit hesitant of using oil products on a fretboard besides dedicated fretboard products like fretboard restorative oil or fretboard cleaner. But I'm usually not a fan of using anything else on a fretboard. But that's my personal preference. They are both Bosch. Yeah, give them a try, Nick. On a piece you don't need for your guitar, do a test run. See how they behave. If you can make the curves you need, if they will corner correctly. And if you have troubles with tight corners, don't be afraid to use what they call relief cuts. So make several cuts and remove tiny bits of wood to get to the end result instead of trying to make the turn with your jigsaw. You're going to clean up the edge with your router anyway, so you don't have to cut straight on the line. Hi Papa. Good morning, California. I hear something called Be Good Oil is really good. I'm not sure what you mean, mountain rivers. Yeah, Papa, I messed up my fingers yesterday and today. Yesterday I did a lot of stitching, even before the stream started and then during the stream. And this morning I also did some more stitching, so my fingers are shut. I can't barely grip the needles. Especially going from the orange side, because this is just the hole is just a punch through and not as in the harder leather a real diamond. It's harder to pull your needle through. So use pliers, no shame. Oh, I never heard of a restorative wax for the fretboard. I know of restorative oils. I have a couple on the shelf right there, but never heard of a fretboard wax. I don't like to use a build-up finish on my fretboards, because chances are it gets sticky and the natural oils and dirt from fingertips, I think it will a fretboard will grime up even quicker when you have a wax applied to the fretboard instead of a penetrating oil. But who knows, it might be good. It might be good. Oh yeah, yesterday's stream, I think I started the stream with, I think, burnishing the edges of this strap and punching all the holes, and then we spent most of the time stitching like I'm doing right now. And I'm almost done with one half of the strap after, I think, let's see guys, I streamed for 4 hours yesterday, so 3 hours of stitching, so almost 4 hours of stitching on one side of the strap. And now we have another couple of hours to go on the other side, and I need to finish it tonight. But usually the other side goes much quicker because the threads I have to pull through each time are getting shorter with each stitch. So if I don't mess up, so knock on wood, I should be able to finish it before the stream is over. And because usually battery life of my mic is a problem during these longer streams, I disconnected my shotgun mic and have that battery pack as a spare. So maybe less ambient noises and sounds. Danish, it's because I repainted a Kramer, but the fretboard is too red to fit a new look. Yeah, you can darken it. Thanks, Tireman. Yeah, it's going to be a real nice strap. I'm going to show you the smaller or the narrower version. So what it's going to look like. So this is what it's going to look like when it's fully stitched. And of course the orange backing. Yeah, hard wax oil contains all kinds of stuff. I'm not sure if it contains polyurethane. Maybe some brands might add polyurethane to their hard wax oil, but it's a high build finish, so I would avoid using that on a fretboard. If you want to darken it, I would try and use a black stain. Alcohol based or solvent based. Don't use a water based stain on your fretboard, but use a solvent based stain or dye. And if you want to make a fully black fretboard, so you want to ebonize it, you can use ink, black ink. That's what they used to use to ebonize all kinds of furniture and wood to make it look like ebony. And it's readily available in most craft stores. They sell these little jars of Indian ink. about the Phoenix inlay into the strap. I have thought about it and decided not to. Mostly because of time restraints. I have made inlaid straps before, where I did cut a design from the top piece of leather, so you could see the backing through it. But I decided not to because I don't have the time to do it in time for the video. And I really wanted to be able to stitch around an inlay if I did it again. And doing those stitches by hand is very difficult to do, very time consuming. So ideally I would need a sewing machine to do so, which I don't have. So yeah, it can be done by hand, but it would take too much time. So maybe one day I'll revisit the Phoenix strap if the guitar doesn't sell, if I'm going to sell it. So maybe then I will add a Phoenix inlay or something, but not for this one. What made me go into making my own straps? First of all, the challenge. I always wanted to get into leatherworking, or always. It was something I had an interest in, let's put it like that. So that's one. And when I started making guitars, I really wanted to provide a high quality leather guitar strap with my guitars, and I couldn't find anything available at that time that I was happy with or that I could afford. So making my own straps, like many things, and we talked about this in yesterday's stream also, it came from necessity. When you're starting out, usually you don't have the funds, or you have to be very carefully where to spend your money to outsource most things or to buy equipment or materials or something. And usually what you do have is time, and that's for most of us, guitar making as such all starts from a hobby. So it starts from something you do in your spare time. So usually you have plenty of spare time for your hobbies. So usually when people are starting out, yeah, instead of spending money, they spend their time. And when everything goes well and your business grows, you can start spending money to get more time, free time for yourself. So it started, long story short, it started from necessity and interest. And usually I don't make videos when I'm making straps. I only did, I think, one strap making video during the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021, so a couple of years back. I made a video on making the strap, but usually this is my hobby that I don't make videos about. It's just something I like to do here in the shed with an audiobook or live stream or a video running. And usually I do the stitching inside on the couch when I'm watching a movie with my wife. I can do this while I'm sitting on the couch. Yeah, I hope to have everything done. So the strap, of course, the strap should be done tomorrow in time for me to edit Monday's video. And yeah, I hope that or at least I intend to have the guitar itself ready for next month. Saturday the 20, I always forget, the 23rd or the 24th of November for the Amsterdam Guitar Heaven gear show, where I'll be present showing off some of my guitars. So if you can, if you're able to come and visit the show, yeah, come and say hi and we'll have a chat. Let's see. Flamed ebony is beautiful. Alright, Danish, good luck with your kids. And hi, Norman. Haha, I made a mistake. This thread should have gone underneath the other one. Here we go. So. I think I've earned a cup of coffee, and unfortunately my wife's not here. Yeah. Thanks, Norman. Yeah, I really like the live streams. Oh. And that's why I'm contemplating whether or not to do a live stream or maybe semi-live stream guitar build instead of making another YouTube video series. So maybe do live streams and then edit a compilation video at the end, or maybe edit videos from the live stream, but it will take a lot of editing. So that's something I have to figure out the coming days or weeks. Yeah, we'll see. I think it hasn't been done before, at least not in a long format. So that might be the downside, that I can that I need to do 8 to 10 hour live streams 2 to 3 times a week, mostly during the day. Or at least during the day here in the Netherlands, so that will be during the night in the US. And I think maybe Australia, they can watch the stream in the evening. But of course, there will be videos generated by YouTube for everyone to catch up on, but we'll see, we'll see. That's another idea. Oh, good luck, Norman, on the quiz. I've also been thinking about a build-along, but especially for a build-along, time differences become an issue, especially if it's a live build-along. Ciao, Norman. Good luck on the quiz. And now let's see, now that we've been talking about a live build-along, which other guitar building channel does the first live build-along before I can do it? Whoops.
Nick Reed just sent a super chat and said,
oh, thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much. Does the bit go in? Yeah, the bit goes into the tip jar. Thank you very much. I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hi, Mr. Waffles. Oh guys, something I just learned. I learned this today. If you're looking at your chat window on the top left, does it say top chat or does it say live chat? If it says top chat, you can click it and you can change it to live chat. Top chat is a feature, an AI feature of YouTube that only shows you chat messages that it thinks is relevant to you. So you might miss out on things being said in chat if you have it set to top chat. It's something I learned today, that there's a difference between top chat and live chat. I learned this today, that there's a difference. And our chat isn't as busy as some other streamers. But yeah, if you want to make sure you see everything being said in chat, you have to change it to live chat, and you have to do it every time. And some of you might get ads while I'm streaming. And apparently sometimes the chat switches back to top chat after an ad. especially when you switch between full screen and windowed. It changes back. So keep an eye out if you think you're missing out on some chat messages. And again, Nick, thank you, and you're welcome. I think it's time to reupholster my stool. Yep. I'm going to open a window, guys. It's crazy. It's the end of October, and this afternoon I had to pick something up at a shop in the town center, and all the cafes, all the coffee, the regular coffee shops, not the Dutch coffee shops, but an actual place where they sell actual coffee. All the outdoor seating was full. There were people on benches everywhere, just in their t-shirt. It was like spring, but it's almost, yeah, it's autumn or fall. It's the end of October, and people were acting like it was late spring, early summer. And even right now, you can see it. It's just hot in the shop. Crazy weather. 18, 20 degrees Celsius. It should be half. Oh, no, I'm not missing out on chat. Yeah, I'm still live. All right. How is the volume, guys? I think it's a bit low. Come on. How is it now? I really don't get it. Yeah, we had a couple of cold days a few weeks ago, and after that temperatures went back up. A very late Indian summer. And of course, it also depends on what you're used to, of course. It's always dry. It's always dry in the pub. What's that song? There's a Dutch band playing Irish folk music. The band is called Scrum. And they have a song about it never raining in the pub, but I can't recall the title. Maybe it is Rain in the Pub. Is it Irish folk? Yeah, it's punk rockish, even some of their songs. Yeah, No Rain in the Pub. Yeah, that's the song. I love that song. Unfortunately, they had some troubles with their singers, so I lost track of them. But it's one of the songs I still have on my phone. No Rain in the Pub. Very cool lyrics also, of a guy being kicked out of his house for spending too much time in the pub by his girlfriend. That's something I wish I could do. Have some music playing in the background. Maybe when streaming. I have to look into it if it's possible to make a playlist on Epidemic Sound that I can play during the streams, maybe. And I think, Owen, if you listen to that song, you know why I have a tendency to use some particular songs in my videos. And speaking about, I'm looking there, and I should look right there. You guys are there. Talking about music in videos, what do you guys think of the current genres, music used in my videos, and the volume? It's always a topic of debate sometimes in the comments, in the comment section. Choice of music, volume, genre. Come on. Let's see. Hi Unquendor Guitars, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I know what you mean, Nick, and that's one thing I changed. I used to use a lot of metal in my videos, and I think that put a lot of viewers off, and especially at the moment I think currently there are plenty of guitar builders already that specialize in heavy metal and have everything heavy metal themed. And that was never my intention, but by using a lot of heavy metal in my videos, people started to associate me with metal guitars only. And to be honest, now that I'm doing slower paced videos, I think this music is better overall. But yeah, of course, you guys are the ones watching my videos, so I'm really curious what you guys think about the pacing and especially the music. Oh, yeah, Milehouse Studios. Yeah, Nitorlek sponsored, or at least they didn't sponsor the current videos. They supplied all the finishing products, so they supplied all the stains, and later on the conductive paint. So all the finishing products, except for the polishing products, were supplied by Nitorlek. And yeah, I'm really happy that they were willing to supply me with their products for me to use, and of course for them to get my feedback, and we're going to collaborate some more is the intention. They were happy with my feedback, both the positive and some remarks I made. So yeah, you can, if everything goes well, yeah, hopefully it will be a longer lasting collaboration with that brand. And I think it's yeah, I like their brands because of their openness. They're willing to supply all the information, supply products, have a very open customer service. Also, not only for me, but for all their customers. They really want to be involved with their customers, and the same as me. So our philosophies have a big overlap. They want to provide good quality products, and they're also willing to do something with feedback and let the customers decide whether or not it's a good product. So yeah, up until this point, it's a very a very nice collaboration with the guys over at Nitrolac, and hopefully we get to collaborate some more on some more projects in the future. I found these. Yeah, I think I've seen them, the Harp Twins. They sent me a load of gear for an upcoming project. Oh, you're also in contact with them, Milehouse Studios. Cool. Yeah, I thus far, I'm impressed, especially with their service. Mr. Martin, do you have any tips for preventing CA glue nozzles from not clogging? Yeah, Mr. Martin, I have a tip. For some reason, and I don't know why, I've tried several brands of CA glue and I couldn't figure out why manufacturers of CA glue couldn't find any bottles and any caps that didn't stick to themselves with their CA glue. And then I found Zap, and I'm not sponsored by Zap. I have to buy this, but this is the first brand of CA glue that I found that doesn't clog up their nozzles as much, and I think it has to do with this tiny cap that doesn't stick to the bottle. You can see there's a tiny bit of buildup on the nozzle, but when you peel that off every time you're going to use your CA glue, and it comes off real easy, it doesn't clog at all. If you can't or won't use Zap, buy smaller bottles of CA glue. Not only does this prevent the CA glue from going off, because CA glue has a shelf life. As soon as oxygen gets into the bottle, it starts to harden. Especially, I found the thicker CA glue, even the Zap one. I had a bottle that cured on itself when it wasn't even half empty. So yeah, the Zap, I haven't had any clogging of the nozzles with the Zap CA glue, and I think that's because the double cap construction they have, it also prevents spilling, and buy smaller amounts. That's my tip. I had the same frustration as you, Mr. Martin. My taste in music is very different to yours. Well, it depends. If it has guitars in it, we most likely have a similar guitar taste in music. My taste is changing. The very heavy metal doesn't do it for me anymore. And since I started using more blues rock and folk music in my videos, I really start to appreciate it more. Hi Daniel, Daniel 187. Nice, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Starbond, we can get it. Starbound, Starbond, I think. Yeah, we have it here. I think there is one guitar parts supplier. I think Guitar Supplies sells Starbond super glue, and maybe Baptist sells it, but yeah, we have it here as well. But I found the Z brand mostly because they have 3 different viscosities in the same form factor. So that's very nice to have one brand that sells several viscosities of super glue. And I also have, I don't know where it is, but I also have a bottle of the chestnut black CA glue. That's another brand I wish I could get in contact with. Going to the Guitar Summit. I'm thinking about the Guitar Summit every year. And this year I wanted to go as a visitor because, to be honest, I can't afford a booth at the Guitar Summit in Mannheim. And we've been thinking about joining up with several independent guitar makers that all have a unique style. So with colleagues, so to say, and have a joint booth, but I understood that that's not allowed anymore at the Guitar Summit. And yeah, for small independent builders, it's getting these big shows, unless you are invited, and even then it usually is too expensive, unfortunately. So maybe next year, it all depends. But I do intend to go as a visitor if I have the time, because sometimes it co-aligns. How do you say it? It's at the same weekend as the Vintage Guitar Show in Veenendaal here in the Netherlands, and that's a show I'm usually attending. Hi, Johnny Bricksmith. All right, Mr. Mr. Martin. I was just asking. Yeah, Retro. I had other obligations that weekend. I intended to go and rent a booth, but I had promised someone to help him that weekend, or at least I would help him. And unfortunately it was that weekend. So, and I always make good on my promises, or I try to make good on my promises. So I had to skip the show, I had to cancel it, yeah, because I promised someone to help him. So hopefully in March, I think Yeah, it depends, to be honest. The last couple of times it was okay. I really like the Bridge Guitar Festival in Eindhoven in May. That's a nice show. Alright, it wasn't as busy. Yeah, it really... I think it has to do, especially the September show, that it's either in the same weekend as the Guitar Summit or a week before. And I think if people have to choose between guitar shows, they will choose Mannheim over the Veenendaal. And I think having that show 2 times a year might be a bit much. And I also think that the audience for a pure vintage marketed guitar show also diminishes. Most likely. Yeah, perhaps, but in my experience, at least in Veenendaal, during that show, there's a whole age group missing. Several age groups are missing in the audience. Or at least that was my impression. So. Let's fill her up. Oh. Oh yeah, by all means, if you have the opportunity to visit a guitar show, before you decide to go there as a exhibitor, go as a visitor first. And see what it's like. If you're going to very big shows, and luckily it isn't as loud anymore, but a lot of shows are very, very loud, so bring ear protection. Yeah, marketplace. Yeah, this is my 4th cup, so enough coffee for me. Yeah, marketplace, it's easy to buy guitars, but no one buys an expensive guitar using marketplace. At least I wouldn't do it. And I'm not putting my guitars up on marketplace. Marketplace is for bargains, bargain shoppers. And scammers. Not from the top of my head, Daniel. No. We can look it up. Last time I was told a couple of hundred. 220 euros for a square meter. So you need a minimum of 3, I think. So it's 600. I think booths start at about 1,000 euros for a weekend. And that wouldn't be a problem if you could be relatively sure you would make a sale, or if your presence at the Guitar Summit would lead to a sale. But you rarely sell anything at a guitar show. At least it hasn't happened to me yet. Of course, I had one loyal customer from a guitar show that I met during a show, so it is possible. But everyone says you rarely sell anything during a show. And yeah, at the moment I can't spend 1,000 euros on a booth and then spend and that's not where it ends, because you have to stay there over the weekend. You have to travel, so that adds another 1,000, 1,500 euros. I wish I could, but yeah, I can't afford it. And I think the prices at NAMM, for example, are even more crazy. That even more well-known brands have to share a booth because they can't afford to have their own booth. And every year I get invited to a guitar show in Italy, and it isn't that expensive, but the travel expenses and you're in the stay there make it unfeasible, unfortunately, for now. Yeah, Rickers does relatively well during shows, but and I know he saves up, and he's very particular which shows he goes to, and he combines going to those shows in Italy and Switzerland, and I think even Mannheim, with his holidays, and he shares it with his team as well. So it's a team effort. They go on vacation during that period as well, if I understood correctly last time I spoke with him. And of course Rickers has 30-40 years experience and is established as a builder together with his team. Very nice guys, by the way. I started in 2017. That's when I built my first guitar. So 7 years. And semi-professionally 2 years now. I registered Unquendor Guitars 2022 or 21. I think 21. I registered Unquendor Guitars. Same time that my YouTube channel started growing in such a way that I got a warning that I needed to register because of the taxes. So guys, I can't wait to be done. My fingers are shut and I have another one to do. Yeah, I'm taking a break, sip of water, but I need this strap to be done tonight. Yeah, she's only 3 years old, so I think child labor is not allowed. and I need to finish the video tomorrow. So we have to struggle on. Yeah, also a very nice and relaxing job, leveling a fretboard. Oh. We've chosen such a weird hobby. So much anxiety involved in building guitars. And we keep telling ourselves it's fun to do. You have blisters everywhere. Laying awake at night if your finish is drying correctly. Shouldn't you have put another coat on? Did I level my frets correct? Did I set my bridge in the correct position? Yeah, very relaxing hobby. No, I can show you guys. So we passed the halfway point. So I think I'm 2/3 of the way there. Maybe a bit over. Just a couple of stitches to go and then I'm at 3/4. So I think 2/3 of the way there. And we're making good time, I think. It's not too bad. Usually it takes me about 10 hours to stitch an entire strap, or at least one half, and another 2 to 3 hours for the smaller strap. But we're getting at a point that the threads aren't as long anymore. That's what's taking up the most of the time. Having to take care of these long lengths of thread, not to tangle them, and having to pull them all the way through. Thank you, Retro. Yeah, we talked about that at great length in yesterday's stream also. How to build kills. And how to get skilled at something and why. Yeah guys, another blister. Yeah, well, it's blood, sweat and tears, so... Oh no, I'm not there yet. I have to keep in mind I have to add something at the end of the strap. And yesterday I forgot it, so I have to take care to remember it. Oh guys, I forgot to set up the secondary camera. Yeah, strap is full leather. 2-ply, so orange and black. First glued together and now stitched together. Let's set up the secondary cam, guys. What is this? Oh. Let's set up secondary cam. Type camera, device, phone. And go back to chat. You guys are right there. So you can see my setup. So you guys are right there. There's my iPad with chat and myself. Oh, and add a bit of light to it, and oh. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in any closer. I totally forgot to set it up. No, I didn't dye the orange. Nope. You can, if you're lucky, you can buy orange leather. So this is an orange hide, a pre-dyed orange hide. So I was lucky enough to come across it during a Renaissance fair. There was a leather merchant that sold real leather, and I don't know what you call it. It's surplus supply, I think. Had small little defects and such, but I could work around it, so I was lucky enough to get nice orange leather for a very, very reasonable price. Some might even call it very, very cheap. And of course, then I had to find a supplier that had the correct color of waxed thread. And I found one in Germany. And this is also 100% cotton. So no nylon. This is cotton. And I'm also very glad I found this. It works much better, in my opinion, than the nylon thread I used to use. It gives a nicer result in stitching, and although you also get blisters from it, it isn't half as bad as the nylon thread. Yeah. Yeah, I call it a Renaissance Fair. That's the American name for it. We call it a fantasy festival. Or in this case it was Castle Fest. But most people know it as a Renaissance Fair from abroad. Most people from abroad know it as a Renaissance Fair. And I really love to visit those, all dressed up. Together with all the other weird people. Let's see, are you going to edit the side with something such as black edge or lace finish? No, the edges are already, I'm going to use that little cam right here. You can see the edges are already dyed black and burnished. So they're already treated. So this is the finished edge. On the larger cam, hopefully it will zoom. So you can see I've already dyed the edge black and then burnished it with a burnisher. And this is the finished edge. Yeah, early history is awesome. I'm always very interested up till the 1900s, I think. Yeah, that's the idea, Retro Studio, a strap for life. With a guitar that's meant to last a lifetime, needs to have a strap that lasts equally as long. And that's what we're making as a custom guitar maker or strap maker or any artisan craft. You're making usually heirloom items that can go from father to son and last generations. At least I hope it will. Yeah. You're probably right. Mountain river guitars. To some extent. Oh, you guys didn't warn me. I went out of frame. Oh. Hi Esther. Yeah, we're doing all right. I'm stitching a guitar strap, and yeah, I think by now I'm 3/4 of the way in, so I think another hour or so maybe to go, maybe a bit longer, who knows. And we're chatting along, so how nice of you to join the stream. It isn't over yet, so you haven't missed much, a couple of 100 stitches. And a nice conversation. Okay, here we go. Yeah. You're probably right, Dennis. That's what I should market. Thank you. Oh. I want to keep that light just out of frame. I didn't know it was a competition, Mr. Martin. Is there a lot of industrial activity in Holland? Oh yeah, a whole lot. Of course, we have the biggest port in Europe, and it used to be the biggest port in the world. The port of Rotterdam, of course. And of course, with having a very big port comes a lot of heavy industry as well. Of course, a lot of the, or maybe one of the, or the biggest oil company used to be Dutch, the Shell company. So there's a lot of refineries and chemical industry here in the Netherlands. And of course, a lot of innovative companies like HSML, the world's leading manufacturer of machines to make microchips and semiconductors. That's of course one of the biggest companies at the moment, although they had a bit of a setback last quarter. What else? Of course, Philips, very well-known brand, is Dutch. So yeah, there's a lot of industry here. Maybe not as much as in Germany, but Germany is a much bigger country. And we have another, what they like to call a knowledge industry, with several universities like the TU Delft, Technical University Eindhoven, of course Wageningen University, which is renowned for its agriculture studies. A lot of innovations when it comes to agriculture comes from that university. And we had a lot of tech companies. Yeah, farming, exporting, we're the second largest exporter or trading company in agricultural products after the US. So US is number one exporter of agricultural products, and the Netherlands is second, and that for a country that's 100, 200 times as small. Yeah, and trading, of course, we've been trading for as long as the country exists, or maybe even longer. We are a real trading country. Yeah, Simon, yeah. As soon as you can pull your thread through in one go, you're nearing the end. And I'm almost there. And of course, we're also known for our water management and various companies and businesses that operate around the world when it comes to dredging, building dikes, building storm barriers, water barriers. well, when you're from the US, you might know that there were a lot of Dutch engineers involved after Katrina in New Orleans to help with the defenses, storm barriers, water barriers and such. And I think the biggest company when it comes to dredging is just around the corner from me. The Boskalis company is just a couple 100 meters away from me. So a lot of big businesses and big tech companies in a very, very small country. And the funny thing is, at the moment there are a lot of videos online about the Netherlands. Oh, Adam. Sorry to hear that, man. And no worries, you're not late. Not at all. I'm happy you could join in. Sorry to hear it. It really does something to me when I read or hear people struggling with something. But don't worry, man. The worst that can happen is that you might have ruined a piece of wood. Well, yeah, it's there are worse things that can happen. You can get yourself a new piece of wood and try again. Yeah, man. Yeah, you just keep trying, just keep at it, and yeah, I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. But that's the only advice I can give you. Enjoy the stream. Get something to drink. Take a break for a day, maybe two. Go on a walk, do something with the family or for yourself, something you really enjoy. And then go back to that piece of mahogany. Sharpen your plane and try again. We have to try and relax. At least I know I do. Yeah, Norman. I will be here for a while. I'm going to finish this trap in this stream. No matter how long it takes. But I need to do something. I need to do something because I'm going to forget. I'm going to make a mark right here. Because I need to add a little loop right there. And I forgot to do it on when I started yesterday. So I have to do some double stitching, which is hard. Because I have to stick 3 pieces of leather together instead of just 2. Yeah, we built, well, we didn't build Dubai, but yeah, Boskalis company, amongst others, made the Palm Island in Dubai, for example. That was mostly made by a Dutch company. I think it was a joint venture between Boskalis and Van Oort, 2 big dredging companies. Yeah, it's a downward spiral indeed, Mr. Waffles. When something goes wrong, stress levels go up, and then things spiral out of hand. More things go wrong, you get more stressed even, and I really had to learn last year to be able to take a break, step away for a moment, clear my mind, clear my head, think of a solution and try again. Unfortunately, I still can't take too much distance, so I can't leave the workshop and wait to another day. I need to fix the problem, or at least have a clear solution of what to do before I can really take a break. But I've learned to at least step aside for a couple of minutes. Sometimes just go for a cup of coffee, clean the workshop. I think it happened during a video in this build that I messed something up. I messed up a top of the guitar. I routed, or I cut it incorrect, and then at that point I really needed to take a break. Cleaned up the workshop and tried again the next day. And that's the only advice I can give to anyone struggling. Take a break, step aside. As long as you're not working for a employer, and even then, even an employer should understand that when things go wrong, the best thing to do is take a break instead of keep struggling and making it worse. Chit. You're welcome, Adam, so keep it up. I agreed, yeah. Yeah, mountain rivers, if you need to do something that takes a while, like cutting an inlay or stitching a strap, it helps to clear your mind. Put on some music you like, put on podcast, audiobook, whatever that helps you relax and free up your mind, and just go at it. Bus fan, do you remember? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I think I do. We talked a while back. I think, if I'm correct, Bus van Freyon, we had a meeting about a guitar a couple of weeks back. Am I correct? Or am I mistaken? Oh, yeah. Well, rest assured, Adam, I didn't have a wood shop in high school. I'm also 100% YouTube taught when it comes to guitar building. Trial and error and YouTube. Cool. Nice of you to join the stream. Hey, good morning, Safian. Good morning for you. Good night for us, at least for me, and some others in chat. Yeah, it looks easier on YouTube. wow. Yeah, that's something I'm a bit envious about, guys. That in the US you have things like wood shop and all trades you can do on high school. And being able to make your first guitar in high school. Practical skills you can learn instead of, I don't know. We had arts and crafts, what it was, making figures out of clay and such. More artsy than practical, usable skills for most. Of course, there's nothing wrong with the arts and crafts, but for most students in high school, they don't pursue a career in arts. But it would be nice if you could learn some practical skills, like how to, I don't know, how to frame a wall, or how to make a basic wood joint, how to make a small cabinet, for example. How to wire a power outlet. And I think they tried it for a while to have classes like that here in the Netherlands, but it didn't stick. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Yeah, that's correct. And luckily it isn't easy. Otherwise, there would be too much competition. Oh. You guys, we're nearing the end. Oh. Oh. Yeah, or maybe Adam, you're taking too coarse of a cut. When I needed to plane the mahogany for the Phoenix, I also needed to have a very, very sharp plane and take very shallow cuts. Usually mahogany is pretty easy to plane in my experience, but sometimes you have more difficult pieces. And in my experience, it really helps to take as shallow a cut as possible. So retract the blade as far as you can. So when you rub it over when you're starting to plane, it doesn't catch. And then real careful, lower down your blade until it barely hits and barely starts cutting, and go from there. At least that's what I would do if I had problems with planing a specific piece of timber or wood. Start by taking as shallow a cut as possible. Very sharp blades, yeah. Most important, sharp blades, shallow cuts. S-tier, maybe a personal question and skip it if you don't want to answer, but is building guitars your only job? Oh, that's not a personal question at all. It's not a secret at all. No, I have a secondary job. I have a part-time job for 20 hours a week as an electrical engineer. And I really need that, to be honest. That job is what makes this possible. It was, for most part, funds my endeavor and my journey to build a guitar company. Of course, supplemented with the generosity of you guys leaving me tips and watching my videos. But it's not as much, at least the revenue from YouTube. It isn't as much as some people might think. Adam Cohn, good to know about the grain, thanks. We used to build mini bridges out of balsa wood. Oh, that's a nice challenge. That's a nice challenge. Building small bridges. I did that once with just a single sheet of regular office paper. Build a bridge to gap a certain to span a certain gap, and then a can of Coke had to be able to pass over that bridge, rolling it over. Very nice. I think it was a single sheet of paper and a roll of regular tape. Just the household standard office supply tape. Yeah, and nice. Oh, by the way, the fit on the new shirt is awesome. Nice to hear, Mr. Waffles. Nice to hear. Good to know. The merchandise is how do you call it? Well received. That said, I am looking to expand the merchandise and maybe find another supplier and even up the quality more. And maybe have embroidered shirts, button-up shirts. But good to hear people are liking the current t-shirts, hoodies. Good to know, good to know. Yeah, Norman, you're right. When it's something you love, it's not really work, it's shooting. But at the same time, if your livelihood depends on it, and that's everyone warned me about the stress it might cause when you change your hobby into your main source of income, or if you're trying to build a company from your hobby. If it doesn't go organic, and by that I mean you can start building guitars as a hobby just for yourself, and then one of your mates wants you to build one, so you build him a guitar and you build another one for yourself, and then two other acquaintances ask you to build them a guitar, and so on until you have a back order of 10 guitars. Yeah, and then it's much easier to decide to quit your job and start building guitars full-time or part-time than it is when you've built a couple of guitars and you try to make a business that way, so without any orders already. And then it can get real stressful. And then, at least that was for me, when I started second guessing if changing my hobby into a profession was such a good idea. So I know what's the saying, if you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. I don't know how to put it to words, but there's a big but. Yeah. People try to take advantage of you. People don't value your work and all those things. You make 20-hour days, 7 days a week sometimes, and nothing to show for. But that's the life or at least I chose. And this week we decided we keep on trying. Keep on trying, keep working, keep at it for as long as we can. Almost at the end. Yeah, guys, we're almost there. Oh, I almost missed my mark. I'm going to prepare something before I forget it. I'm going to shut this cam off for a moment because we're going to... Oh, come on, camera, off. Because I need to make something before I forget. I want to keep this. Maybe. Yeah, this is... no, this isn't wide enough. Yeah, it is. All right. Oh, guys, I'm going to move you a bit. You guys still there? Let me know. I need to This is all warped. It's not long enough. I need to make a belt loop. So, where did I put my stuff? Oh. So guys, quick little belt loop. That needs to go right there. Tools, where are you? Yep. I might have made it too small. Luckily, I still have that other. Nope. Let's do that again, shall we? Yeah. Much better, much better. Let's see. All right. So, yep, still here. Is that self-healing? I don't know if it's self-healing. it's it's pretty warped. It's just a cheap cutting mat I happen to have laying around just when I needed it. I think it's usually in my leatherworking toolbox. So I'm going to put you guys back. Let's see. Where were you guys? Something like this maybe. Yeah, seems to be okay. Yeah, I needed to make a belt loop real quick. That's going on the inside of the strap to hold the narrow strap in place when the strap is done. And I forgot to do this yesterday. It was already supposed to be here. So I have to double stitch this side, but that's not a problem. But it's easier to incorporate it when I'm stitching the edges. Well, easier. I have a lot of spare thread. Yeah. I'm not getting old, I'm getting better. So one stitch. And now I'm going to add, this piece we just made. Wow! Usually it isn't that easy. Come on. So, this is how you stitch two pieces of leather together. Yeah. Did you ever thought of building an acoustic guitar? Yes, I have. But I think my workshop is too small to build an acoustic, or at least I have it set up for electric guitars, and there's a lot of things you need, like a sanding disc or the radius disc and such, that I don't have. And the special table to glue your bracings to the top and back and such stuff I don't have, and I don't have room for. But I really want to challenge. I really like to challenge myself one day to build an acoustic. And we talked about it in previous live streams. What I might do one day when I have the time is to go and do a course. Here in the Netherlands, there is a guitar building school here in the Netherlands, and I know the owner. And maybe try and to come up with a way that I can build an acoustic guitar at his workshop, do a course with him, and maybe film the entire experience for a YouTube series. So that's something I am considering, but it also depends on what I want to do here on YouTube. If I want to do, for example, instead of consecutive series, do seasons, for example, or do more with live streams in conjunction with seasonal guitar builds. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I really love the idea of one day building an acoustic. And for anyone present in yesterday's live stream, there is a relatively high chance that in the near future I'm going to do a electric acoustic guitar. So like a Godin, or what's the brand new Ibanez called? The one they did for Prolifery, what's the band called? Nope. We're almost there, guys. How long did it take you to be able... I think second try. Even my first strap had a design flaw. But I was relatively... It took me very little time and even less practice to be able to make guitar straps. Once I had a good design, stitching isn't, or at least for me, yesterday we had 2 leather workers in chat that said that this kind of stitching was very hard to do, at least being consistent with the quality of the stitches. But for me it was just couple of goes, couple of straps, and I was able to do very consistent stitches. But that might be because I really like to do repetitive tasks like this stitching, and that it's inherent to me. Is it correct English? Or it comes natural to me to, for example, pull all the stitches with the same amount of force. And I'm really particular on making sure all the stitches are exact. And maybe leatherworking comes even more natural to me than making guitars. And it's pretty forgiving, I think, leatherworking. But you have to accept that, for example, no matter how hard you try, if you cut a strap, that it never will be perfectly straight, and that your edges aren't going to be perfectly rounded like you would with a piece of wood and using a router, for example. Wood is a natural material, but so is leather, and even more so. Leather really has a mind of its own sometimes. For example, when burnishing the edges, sometimes you're able to burnish the edges to perfection. They're nice, smooth, evenly rounded, and you can blend in the seam in between 2 layers seamlessly. It really disappears, and sometimes you keep seeing a little line, and no matter how hard you try, that line won't disappear, and that's something you need to accept. That's part of working with leather. Don't forget the loop. Yeah, I have one side of the loop, and unfortunately, because I forgot to do the other side yesterday, I have to double stitch this side, and that's what we're going to do right now. I've double stitched the last couple of stitches so that make sure the thread is held in place. But to be absolutely sure what I'm going to do, tiny bit of super glue. Just 2 little drops. Right at the end. Yeah, they're nice and flush. Come on. I had hoped. Nope. Too bad, too bad, too bad. Like so. So, finished. And now we have to double stitch the loop. And let's see. There's enough thread right here. Oh, this cut and polish. Wow. I think Simon gave me this tip yesterday of putting a tiny bit of wax on the end of the thread to help me thread the needle, because the needle barely, of the wire barely fits through the needle, and that tip really helped a lot. Make sure we don't lose the so one wire. Oh, Adam, you gave me that tip. All right, I'm sorry, Adam, you gave me that tip. I thought it was Simon, but Adam, thank you for the tip. Really helps a lot. And now we have to try and double stitch this. Let's see, I have to Where am I going to start? Yeah, I might do this. Yeah. Nope. Oh, nope, I should do this, unfortunately. This is going to be fun. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty sore, but nope. I made a mistake. Hopefully this works. Yeah. I needed to go through this one and then through this one. So, and if I pull these stitches very tight and I'm very careful where I thread the secondary loop, the secondary stitch in the same hole, you can barely notice that there are two wires or two threads in that single stitch. And although this is a bit of a struggle, it beats having to do the entire strap all over again. And because this is a saddle stitch and the wires go all the way through the material and then back, unlike with a regular machine-made stitch that are basically two loops interlocking into each other, and when one thread breaks, you can unravel the entire stitch. That isn't possible with a saddle stitch. If for some reason one of these stitches would break, all the other stitches won't be affected by it. So this is a much stronger way of sewing than with a machine. The machine can't do these types of stitches. At least not that I know of. Maybe a very complicated machine, but yeah, the Phoenix seems to be curing nice. It's still in the IKEA spray booth, but it seems to be curing rather well. I'm not sure on the thickness, to be honest, so fine sanding and polishing the guitar will be nerve-wracking, to say the least. So I hope everything goes well. But yeah, I've sprayed 8-9 coats, I think. 2 full aerosols worth of lacquer went into the guitar, and 1.5 aerosol of primer. No. So hopefully that's enough to get a good result when I'm going to fine sand and polish the guitar. So fingers crossed, and that's also a reason why I let it cure for the full 3 weeks instead of taking a gamble and start polishing tomorrow, because tomorrow it's been 2 weeks and the guys over at Nitrolac said let it cure for 2 to 3 weeks, so I'm going to stick to the 3 weeks. At that stage of the build, better safe than sorry. Because if I mess up, because if I mess up and I've done something wrong by not waiting the full 3 weeks and rushing it, if something goes wrong, it sets me further back if I had to redo all the finish. So yeah, better safe than sorry. I need to do one more time. Nope. Yeah, well, all right. Yeah, a bit retro studio. I'm a bit worried about the Nitrolac aging a bit, but we have to keep in mind this is a modern Nitrolac instead of one from the 50s. So I think it won't age as quick, and I think it might suit the guitar because of the finish, and I think I don't mind if it's a more classic looking guitar, to be honest. So now let's cut the wires before I apply the super glue. When you use a nylon wire, you can use a lighter or a oh, of course, stupid me. Super glue everywhere, because there's still super glue in the nozzle. I'm going to throw you out. All right. We'll have something to do tomorrow. Peel super glue from my fingers. I'm sticking myself to the bottle. So, tiny bit of glue. Let's see, guys. Oh, perfect fit. Not too loose, not too tight, so it slides easy. Great. I just remembered it isn't in the YouTube video. All right. Well, too bad. They'll have to watch the stream. I'm going to trim it flush on this side. Unfortunately, you guys can't see. This side is flush, yeah. So we made it, guys, and with an hour to spare, I really thought I needed 4 hours to finish the strap, but we did it in just over 3 hours. Yeah. Unfortunately, my wife isn't at home today, because then I could give it a try. But she's out. Yeah, the only thing left to do, but I'm going to keep that for the video, so you have to wait until Monday to see the final step of finishing the strap, and that's going over all the stitches with a hammer, just to flatten them, to make sure they're flush with the front of the strap. And also the back stitches, you can now still feel them, but when you hit them with a hammer, and I've did this to this one already, here you can see the end result, hopefully. Maybe. You can see the stitches are flush with the strap, and also on the back they're flattened and they're kind of embedded in the leather. It really makes a difference. If you feel it, you can feel the difference straight away. And that's by just tapping them, flattening them with a hammer. And of course, I'm going to add a strap button in the video and a mounting system. You can see in this strap there are 4 holes in the strap. And I'm going to add a hole pattern on this side of the strap, and then we're going to use Chicago book screws to screw these 2 halves together, and so you get an adjustable strap But once you've set it to length using those 4 little screws, it will be set. So it's set and forget. You never have to adjust your strap again unless your preference changes or your body size changes. But usually it's a set and forget strap. That's nice and clean, so there's no buckles, nothing that can scratch or damage your guitar. And of course on the front we're going to add the Unquendor Guitars logo. That's a nice little stainless steel badge I have made. So there's our strap, almost ready. And then of course in the coming weeks I can stitch another strap, but I can do this on my own time, on the couch, when enjoying some time with my wife. So guys, I think I'm going to call it. Let's turn off, let's clean up a bit, so we can chat if you have any questions. Ed's here, yeah, fijne avond, a bit of Dutch, good weekend. So any questions guys, I can go on for a couple more minutes while I'm cleaning up the shop a bit. So I'm going to do this. So you get a bit of an overview. And for anyone wondering, by the way, that's what the at the beginning of the stream, the Amazon delivery guy came in to deliver. Ah, it's all taped shut. For anyone wondering what a Chicago book screw is, it is a 2-part screw. So it's a bushing with thread inside, and you have a very small counterpart, which is a threaded screw that you can screw together into a mounting or fixture, how do you call it? And it's meant to, yeah, hold 2 parts together, and they're called book screws because sometimes in restaurants you see that the menu is held together with this system. And it's an easy way to bookbind, essentially. And these are called officially Chicago book screws. And I've ordered them in a variety of sizes and colors, ranging from gunmetal black, let's see which size this is, to nickel, chrome, black, all kinds of colors. So yeah, in Monday's video I'll show them in more detail. So let's clean up the shop. These are for tomorrow. This needs to go here. My knife. This one goes here. And this is my ritual every night, guys. Some people ask me how my shop is so organized all the time, and that's because every night before I leave the shop I do this, I clean up after myself. So when I start shooting tomorrow, as soon as I walk into the shed, I'm ready to go. Have a cup of coffee and then start recording a video. Don't need those. This one here. Scraps. This one goes here, this one goes here. So, let's call it a night. I can't see if anyone still is in chat. But thank you all for joining. Thank you all for supporting me while stitching these straps. And yeah, I hope to see you all, of course, in the next live stream or in the next video. But until then, as always, guys, have a nice weekend. Take care and bye bye. Just like the videos. I'm still here, guys. Just a couple of minutes. Bye bye.